It's geeky music. You don't like it?
It's a weird, like, it's like an 8-bit video game that I'm getting eaten by an alligator when I'm trying to jump over a pit. Do you remember that game?
Yeah. Well, Frogger did that.
Yeah, Frogger, and then it was like, what was it? Like Pitman or something? I can't remember what it was called, but basically he'd swing on these vines and it'd be like you'd jump over it, and it's like these like 8-bit characters. Maybe it was like even like 4-bit. It was like really bad.
Oh, I loved Frogger.
I always got squashed.
Yep. So before we start, we got to do this real quick, because if anybody doesn't know, happy birthday!
Oh yes.
Oh.
Just what I wanted. Everybody to know. Is that in StreamYard, or did you upload that?
I uploaded it to StreamYard.
Yeah,
I did. I made it special for you.
Very sneaky.
Yeah, happy birthday, Joe.
Yeah, thank you.
Joe's a young whippersnapper.
I'm so young.
You're a lot younger than
me. I'm younger than some people and older than others.
Yeah, well, I feel like you're just a baby.
I am just a baby.
Oh, Eddie's in the chat. Eddie's the same age as you, so you know.
All right, Eddie. Yeah.
All right. Well, we had a bunch of stuff to talk about, and one of the things that we're going to talk about is analytics. And it just so happens that in the group that Malcolm Lawson and I run, real estate YouTube Mastermind, they somebody posted something about analytics. So it's like perfect timing. So there's a lot of confusion about analytics. I think we should go over some things. One of the things I always warn people about is when they have those analytics and they do an upload, and then the upload says 1 through 10, right?
Yep.
And then they had a really good video that did like the week before, and then the next week they do the next video, and it's like at a 7 or a 6, and they're like, oh, this video is bombing. And then it's like it almost tricks you, because it may not be bombing. That it may be bombing for like your channel, you think, right? But it may not be bombing for that specific group of videos that you're making. It might be right at the top. It might be having the perfect amount of trajectory that you need it to be. So don't get deceived by 1 through 10. I'm totally.
Yeah. And the other thing too is that it might be because it's a new playlist, or it's something new that YouTube is testing, and then it takes off.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And I've had that happen too. There's whenever I talk about like anything education related to modular homes or manufactured homes, I know they're going to start off pretty pukey. I mean, honestly, I know when they come out, they're not gonna do they're not viral hits. I know that for a fact. But I also know that over time, because it's educational content and all my other educational content related to that, they all kind of link together, and they're slow moving, and they slowly gain traction. They're always going to get views for a long period of time. It's just that, when they come out, they're the pits.
Yeah.
I know that. I don't care, it's like they're good momentum videos that will consistently get me views, but those videos will never be like, the trending page of YouTube.
Yeah, but they don't need to be. I mean, that's the thing, is they don't need to be to get the leverage that they need, to get the views that you need, to get the calls, the people filling out the forms and getting leads. What you really need is you just need to be consistent. And when YouTube understands who you're making your content for, then it expands it even more and tests even other demographics of that to see how they relate. And that's why I say that, like, it may start off as a stinker, but they could, like, in 6 months could blow up, and you could have it to where it just shoots up because all of a sudden it's relevant for whatever someone is looking for.
And that, like, when that I've had people say, oh, I better just take this video down. Like, please don't. Please don't. Because sometimes when that you've put like your heart, soul, and you've checked off all the boxes of what, a good video should be, and you know what your right hook is, what your re-engagement is, that the content you made was really good, and that, you know, you had a good closing and good calls to action, and it just didn't do well at the beginning, that doesn't mean that it's dead forever. And I've had that happen plenty of times. My land videos, when I first started doing them, they did the pits. Honestly, they did really, really bad. And then I did another video about it, and when it came out, it did okay. It was doing like I was looking at it very similarly to other videos I had done in that, and I was like, okay, this is doing pretty good. And then by the time it hit the weekend, it just shot up like a rocket, and
Yeah.
now it's got over 1 million views. But I consistently stayed on that topic because I knew it was relevant to my audience about land. And you know, if I had taken that down, I would have lost that opportunity for it to reach that level. So
Yeah.
yeah. Somebody said Feliz cumpleaños.
Ah, thank you.
And the
Thank
only
you.
reason I knew how to say that was because of Dora.
Feliz
Feliz
cumpleaños.
cumpleaños.
Well, thank you very much, Sandra. Hey, she's coming into our group for the next thing of coaching.
Oh,
I
welcome, Sandra.
you recognize that name on Discord.
Yay. Fantastic. Fantastic. Can you put up that graphic that somebody showed?
Yeah,
Uh,
let's do it.
okay, so this is one of your analytics that everybody should be paying attention to, and most people don't. They put on the video, they're like, oh, it didn't do well. But if you just scroll down a little bit and look at your audience retention graph, you can learn a lot from this.
Yep.
And I can tell you something really, I mean, instantaneously about this. I can tell you that the hook that you used sucked. That's
Yep.
what I can tell you. Yep. What do you say, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that, and I think that was the question is I don't understand why we call this like the hockey stick, because it goes
Yep.
like this and then like that, kind of looks like a sideways hockey stick. So one of the things that that you could work on with your video is obviously you had enough interest from your title and your thumbnail for them to click on it, but then within 30 seconds, you lost like 45% or 46% of your audience right off the bat. And then it slowly goes down with very little re-engagement or spikes that we'll have that we'll talk about. But your biggest issue, and like, honestly, this is not just yours. This is like everyone's issue, is learning how to hook your audience in and keep them engaged throughout the whole video. And it's not an accident. It's not by accident that people figure this out, but you will have a drop in viewership. So what the goal is to minimize how much that drops. So it doesn't do this, but maybe it just tapers off a little bit, but then it spikes up, goes down, spikes up again, because you're doing like the anatomy of a video. You're understanding how to put things in place that will keep your viewer engaged, and one, knowing who the viewer is. But just looking at this graph, and the length of the video is great. Like
Mhm.
it's a good long video, but as you see, there's not much. And actually, that video compared to some of your other videos did worse, because you'll see a little bit of a light, like a little light graph that's kind of
Mhm.
gray, and that's higher. So that tells you, just looking at that, that video compared to other videos that you've done, your hook was even worse.
Right. So we haven't watched this video or but I'm going to tell you, when it comes to your hook, that first 15, 20, 30 seconds, you have a very limited time to get their attention, and you lost more than half within that first 30 seconds.
Yep.
So I don't know if you did this, but these are some mistakes that a lot of agents do whenever they're starting a video. They'll go in and they'll introduce themselves. Hi, everybody. I'm Jake Snack, and I'm here with ABC Realty to show you all the ins and outs of real estate. But make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my wonderful information. Now, here are the 5 ways to buy a house. In that 15, 20, 30 seconds that you spouted out all that information about yourself, you delivered nothing on the promise of the title of the video.
Yep.
So don't do that. Like, and I know it's probably something you probably were taught before, but it's a huge mistake that a lot of people make. Another reason you don't want to do that is you may not be working for ABC Realty down the road. You might switch
Right.
brokerages.
Exactly.
So yeah, so I would suggest sticking to exactly what the video is about in that first 30 seconds, and give them a reason to stay for the next 30, 40, 50 seconds, like asking them a question, tell them something that, like, make it sound like something they've never heard before. Get into the most interesting part of that specific video right at the beginning, so they can't help but want to stay all the way to the end.
Yeah. You know, one thing that really, like, and you kind of touched on it, of like maybe they didn't know and they were taught one way. Like, one thing that you can do is become a student of YouTube. And Daryl talks a lot about this, about like learning from YouTube and learning from people that are successful. And so what a lot of real estate agents do is they go and watch other real estate agents videos on their channels, and they're like, oh, that makes sense to me because I'm an agent, and like I get that resonates, so I need to make my content just like they did. But the problem with that is you're not targeting real estate agents for your videos, or like you shouldn't be. Like, you should be targeting, like, if it's a buyer or a seller or someone totally different. So what you need to look at is, as a viewer, do this is an exercise that I do when I'm watching videos, especially something that I want to learn about, and I find a video that I want to learn. Let's say, for example, like something to do with like film equipment. Okay, like
Mhm.
it's very different than real estate, but not really in the way that you can present. So I'm interested in a certain type of camera, and maybe a lens, or how it works. They don't, like, the people that I follow, subscribe, and like, they never introduce themselves, ever. They're
Mhm.
like, hey, you just got this camera and you're probably having this issue. Let me show you how to fix that. And then they do they bring this up, or they do an unboxing, like, or they'll show something that's like interesting, because I'm like, oh, like, I have that camera, like I relate with them. And then what they do is like, oh man, I totally didn't even know you could do this. And they add like an extra feature that I wasn't even planning on. And then they suck me in, because I'm like, oh, I went in for this part of the video, but they were able to tell me something else that re-engaged me and got me to go, wow, like I really want to watch even more of this. And sure enough, by the time it's done, I've watched the whole video and I'm on to the next video because of what they've talked about. And so when you're doing your hook, you need to make sure that you deliver on the promise, but you also, like, if it's a home tour, or if it's like, the worst thing you can do is start talking about your brokerage. Like,
Mhm.
the best thing to do is be like, hey, you wanted to see a home tour? Boom, let's get into it. And you start right on the home tour. Like,
Well,
that's,
just he says that this graph is new construction home, and the first 20 seconds is just shots of the home in different areas of the home. It'd be interesting to know if you're talking during those first 20 seconds.
or if there's graphics, or if it's just B-roll with nothing.
Right.
Like that stuff really does matter.
I'll tell you another thing that drives people absolutely batty is tons of speed ramps. If
Yeah.
your first 20 seconds is, you know, 5 different speed ramps of different parts of the house, and then you get into the home tour, that will turn people off immediately. And the only reason I know this is because Joe and I review home tour channels. We review real estate channels all the time. So
Yeah.
I see a huge dip when people start off with something super busy in a home tour.
And the biggest reason why is knowing who your audience is, because most people that do speed ramps and stuff like that is for short form, like for Reels or TikTok, which works great. But for
Right.
YouTube, especially long form, it annoys people.
Right. Right. I would be really interested to know um, what that, I want to see the video.
Have them post a link and then let's just look at it.
Yeah, like go ahead and post a link in the chat and see, so we can click on it and see if we can find it. I don't know if he's going to be able to post the link. If you can't,
Well, you know what? We have his channel. I mean, it just
yeah,
maybe what's the
What's the title of it?
Yeah, what's the title? Is it the one that we just did eight days ago? Beezer Home opens Hillside Manor. That doesn't look like it. It's it, because that was.
He's losing a little under 50% of the videos.
How long is the what's the analytics say on that video? How long is it? 13 minutes? Or
yeah,
is that
13 minutes and probably 48 seconds. 13 minutes, 48 seconds.
Okay, I see one right here. I think this is it. Freestone. This might be it.
Yeah, Freestone Station is what he said.
Okay, hold on here. Hold on.
And he's gonna put it up on the screen.
Yeah, we're gonna figure out how to do this here.
Yeah, this is good stuff for everybody, by the way. Da, 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 by the Toll Brothers.
All right, can you see this?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so this is it right here.
Mm-hmm. Too fast.
So today I am at Freestone Station in Marietta, Georgia.
So you're at 15 seconds, about 14 and a half seconds before you actually start talking. This right here, all of those cuts, like I would have started talking way before that and then had the B-roll go with it and have some graphics with that.
Yep.
Because the beginning is more of like what a reel would be. Because what happens is people don't know if you're even going to be talking in this video or if the home tour is just like shots like
music.
Yeah, in music. Like that's really, and half the people are like, I will tell you this, that most people, when they're on YouTube and they're watching home tour channels, the music is super loud. They get super annoyed. They don't want music. They want information.
Right.
So
it doesn't matter. You can put music in certain sections.
Yep. To enhance it.
Right. To enhance that section. Like if it was about, like if you had a really cool pool feature and you wanted to do some slow stuff there and maybe add a couple speed ramps, then that would, go with the music. But they really hate when you do music the whole way through.
Yeah, I would
slow down your
cuts.
Yep.
The other thing, like this right here, this would have, I bet you if we looked at this in 20 seconds or somewhere around there in the analytics, I bet you would see a little uptick because of this map right here. Because actually we have the analytics. Let's go back to that.
Yeah, let's see where.
Look at that. Do you see that little bump up?
That's where your map came in.
That's where your map came in. That right there, because people are interested in location and they're interested in graphics. And when you talk about something and then you show it, sometimes they go back and rewatch it. And that's what you see just a little bit of a bump right there. That's what that bump is.
So you would have started that hook with immediately the shot of the front of that house and say, welcome to Freestone, subdivision by the Toll Brothers, centered in the middle of blah, 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 Atlanta, and then have an arrow going exactly where it is on the map to show them. Right. Yep. And then you could fade that out to the actual house again.
Yeah. That would just that right there, those two things, and not having the music so much in the beginning. You can have sound design and you could have some things, but what I noticed right off the bat is I didn't know if this was even going to have any audio or any information.
Commentary. Yeah.
Because there are a lot of channels that do have that, right? That all they're doing is showing the beautiful home, and it's like there's no commentary, there's no information. It's just pretty to look at and nice music to hear. But people are going there for the new construction. So talking about that, what I think would be cool also with this is, because you're talking about new construction, is showing like a B-roll clip of speed ramp, or not speed ramp, but like a time lapse of a house being built really, really quickly in a second or two, showing that, to saying, hey, this is where something was, this is where it's at. And then you're talking about that new construction. And then, like Kristina was saying, is then you bring in that map with the arrow and be like, this is where we're at today. all of those little teeny things draw the viewer in, instead of, because I mean, yes, I get it that it's pretty and the sound is nice, but people are there again for the most part because they want to learn about the new construction process, or they want to learn about that area in and why, you know, they should be interested in Toll Brothers new community or new construction.
Did that help you? Atlanta new construction tours?
I,
You know what, too, is like, I'm assuming that you're like almost like educating people on there, is like maybe talk to somebody that actually is building them, like somebody
yeah.
that's a foreman on the site, to just talk over some things you probably didn't even know about it. You know, extra
Or
people.
things that they're super excited of, and then
Right.
you have little clips of B-roll that you can pepper in through that whole video.
Yep. Yep. I like the way you're doing it, though. I mean,
The
there's a
quality's
thousand.
great. The
Yeah,
quality's great.
there's a thousand different home tour channels out there, right? And you can learn a lot from them, but you having your own style of doing it is going to set you apart from the rest. So
Yeah.
just those little tweaks can, like Daryl says, little tweaks, big peaks. Little
Yep.
tweaks, big peaks.
Yeah. And it really is. I mean, the quality is good. Everything on that is phenomenal. It's just a couple little things. And this is why, like, having like your analytics is so important. When you can look at this and go, okay, so for the next video, now you know, hey, I'm suffering. And so what your goal is to do just a little bit better on your hook, spend a little bit more time on trying to figure out how to bring that audience in and test things. Like, the stuff that we're giving you is things that we've seen that has been successful and that works. But you ultimately need to look at, like, what is it that's going to engage your viewer. And then the way that you verify that is go in and look at your analytics and go, okay, I'm working on my hook. So my goal is to make that hockey stick less and less like a hockey stick and more like a mountain that's just kind of on a slope.
The only time though that, like, whenever you look at attention graph like this, and you shouldn't sweat it too much, is when your video goes viral, because they're testing it with so many different
Yeah.
audiences. You have a tendency to get more of a hockey stick. But we're talking when you get into the like millions of views, this territory. So don't sweat it. Can you put up that graph just one more time? I want to show one last thing on there. So you had a moment, like after you got past that hook, it seems like it was a slower trajectory of people like falling off. So, I mean, you kept them entertained. If you kept them there that first 30 seconds, they slowly faded out. It wasn't nearly as bad, but you did have a little bump, I would say, at the almost 9-minute point where it was above that. So I don't know what was at that point. That made it so. Is it the kitchen? What was that made them bathrooms maybe?
It looks like the master bedroom.
Yeah, they really liked the master bedroom. So that's me. Golly, that's some loud music.
Yeah, that's way loud.
Way loud.
So right about here is when you're moving into the master, and I think this is the part that it kind of bumped up.
Yep. Which is good to know, because so just know that for the future.
Yeah. He said the last couple minutes also look at it and see. Let's see what. Just give it a minute here.
Yeah, cook it.
So as I
Let's cook
mentioned
it.
earlier, there are two move-in ready homes, which are the Hendricks floor plan. They're currently available for sale by Toll Brothers, and the incentives the builder is currently offering is $25,000, which you can completely take it off from the purchase price of the home, and also an additional $10,000 that could go towards the closing costs if you use their preferred lender.
So right then, you should have put the graphic, $2,500, $10,000. Have that sound of money, like cha-ching, the cash register sound with those numbers up on the screen. So that way it got people's attention. Like people end up drowning that stuff out. But if you do things to grab their attention like that, they'll look back at the screen, because a lot of times people they have this on in the background.
Yeah.
So you want to pull them back in.
So one thing that I didn't even know you had this, but this is gold. Like if I were doing this video, my hook would have been how you can save $25,000 on a new construction home. And here's how. That right there is going to be the biggest draw of people why they're doing this. And then I would have a call to action pretty close to that of like, if you want to learn more about how you can save $25,000 on a brand new construction home by Toll Brothers, then click the link below and let's connect up. But that right there is a huge missed opportunity, because you just had 50% of your audience bounce before they even knew that there was a $25,000 incentive.
Yeah.
Like that right there is your hook.
Yep. Money talks. Money talks. And people want to know how they can save $25,000.
Right. That makes a huge difference. I mean, that right there will lean someone going with Toll Brothers as opposed to another builder or lender, because everything comes down to the payment, right? And if they can buy down their rate, or they can use that to for closing costs or whatever they can use, like that's what you should be talking about with these new construction homes.
Yep.
Like that to me is like literally that right there you wouldn't even have to have a 13-minute video. If you had that, you could go like 9 minutes, have that in there, do the tour. But if like, to me, your channel should, I don't know if I would do home tours like what you're doing. I would be talking about the new construction process and why people should be looking to buy a new home, and the benefits of it. And on top of that, you've got a builder that's willing to give you these crazy incentives right now.
So I'm going to pull up his channel really quick, because he's one of the people that gave us permission to review his channel, and all of his channel, his whole thing is just reviewing houses. It's just home tours. So, yeah, I would kind of like try to revamp this. I would start watching other very successful tour channels, not the ones that are necessarily in your market. I want you to look at the biggest channels that relate to home tours. That's it. I want you to look at that, and I want you to study how long their videos are. I want you to look at their thumbnails. I want you to study like their hook. I want you to watch it all the way to the end. Find out how long those videos are. How long are their titles? What was in those titles to make it really intriguing that got people to click? Like, really pay attention to those things so you can implement them on your channel.
Click on the popular and let's see the most views that he's gotten. So we had
12,000 views.
12,000 views. Okay. So there's a couple things that we could tell you right off the bat, especially with home tour channels, just because we've done these a lot, is if you're going to do a home tour, just have whatever the price is or something that is going to be enticing for them, like amazing backyard or crazy, like crazy kitchen or something like that. Have an arrow going to it. But ultimately, most home tour channels have the price of the home and then like a very oversaturated picture of the front of the house.
I'm just doing a little thing real quick. We're just gonna do 4 to 20 minutes. Okay. All right. Fully furnished house tour. This isn't really applicable. I'm just looking for ones that had to do with
the other thing you have to do when you're doing this is make sure it's in our country, because outside of the country they do them differently.
Do we have that? Is that a filter?
I don't know. I haven't looked, but I don't think so. But it just seems like more and more I'm getting international stuff as I'm doing these searches.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm just like
right there. There you go. That one right there. The nest.
The nest. Yep. It's just the house and usually the price.
Yep.
But look at the colors.
But the reason that one's not is because that's an Airbnb.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Real interesting. Okay. And then this one is like my $1 million home, blah, blah, blah. That's not going to work. Okay. unless you got $1 million house that you're selling.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see. All right, Dr. Mike bought a house.
Yeah.
Like normally there's ones that are like, wow, we're really getting a lot of
Yeah. It's outside. I've noticed that there's a lot more lately. Or
international.
there's creators that are doing it because they're using their following to create content for that.
Yep. But even something like this, it's mostly the house, you know,
Yep.
mostly the house. And this even works for, I talk about modular homes and manufactured homes, not the sexiest thing in the whole entire world. But what works for that is basically I don't have my face on there and show the house. It's the house. And I usually put the price somewhere on there or some kind of like power word. But that's because I'm talking about affordable housing. But I
Right.
know that if the houses are like an actual home tour, it's just the price of the house behind the roof
Yep. A
line.
number. Yep.
Yep, the number behind it with a drop shadow and then the house up front.
Yep.
And
And then a really nice title that does not have the address in it.
yeah, do not put the address in there at all. Yep. Well,
Look, there's another one, tiny home tour.
Yep. Tiny home tour. Yep. I'm just looking for something that's
You know what's interesting? We actually had someone in that group that you and Malcolm run as well, where they asked about that, and I pulled one up, and it was very simple what we're talking about, and they did one similar to that, and their videos, like their normal within a 24-hour thing was like 50% more than what they normally get.
Yep.
And so we know like that stuff, it does work, but you obviously need to make it fit for your audience. But one thing I noticed on your thumbnails is all of your sky, or a lot of them, is really, really white. Like superimpose blue with maybe some clouds or something. Really get it so that it really pops.
Oh, here we go. Affordable luxury house in Texas for under 300,000. Look at this.
Yep.
Whoop. That's it. It's just the house and the price. That's it. That's it. Here's another one.
That one doesn't even have the price because the
Nope.
house is so like massive.
Beautiful. Yeah, but if you look, the price is in the title.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yep. So here's another one. The price is at the bottom. This is pretty interesting. I haven't looked at home tours in a hot minute, and to see it at the bottom, and they're doing pretty good. I mean, nearly 1 million views.
Do 6 months and let's see if there's anything that is that has changed. This is the other thing about doing it with your searching and analytics is check like within, the last, can you do like the last month maybe?
Yeah, this is the last month.
Okay, so look at that. So 5 days ago they did it up above. So test it, right? Like down below, up above. But again, kind of like what we were talking about, is the house, the blue over saturated grass, blue, and then the price with the drop shadow. It's almost exactly like what you just said.
Yep. If this was me, I would take that gate right off of that thing.
Yeah.
Like I would have done like not the gate picture. I would have had that, much better, much more appealing in my opinion. But go study this channel, see what they're doing.
Yeah, they got some views, man.
They got some serious views going on.
Look at
Pay
that
attention to their titles and their thumbnails. Just take a look just to see what they got. So
hopefully that's helpful and beneficial to you, but just those little teeny things will help the engagement and help you get even more views. And seriously, if you're offering a $25,000 incentive, like that should be part of your hook.
Yep. I concur, Joe Eves.
Yep. Wow, we went right into like the channel review right off the bat.
Well, yeah, but it really related to analytics and what you should be paying attention to. So that's why I was like, you know what, instead of like talking about analytics and then jumping,
let's show it.
We'll show it. Because I mean, it's rare that we get somebody's audience retention,
Right.
So
that's true.
So I thought it would be a perfect opportunity to lead into it. And that is one of those, like, if you don't understand analytics, and I know many of you don't, the one analytic that you should be paying attention to is your audience retention.
Yeah.
And how are you going to keep them watching that video the whole entire time? Because if you can get a good audience retention graph, that video will be recommended out by YouTube. If you can get like, let's just say you have only 100 subscribers, and then you happen to get a video that has 1,000 views to it. And if you look at the audience retention and you have like over 80 or 90% audience retention from the beginning of the video all the way to the end of the video, and it's like a 7-minute video, I promise you that video will be recommended a whole heck of a lot more than it was.
Yeah. You'll get 100 subscribers just off of that.
I concur.
Yep.
So anyways, all right. Brandon Blankenship. I know this guy. A long time ago, I helped him make a channel banner. He's made some different channel banners over the years. But yeah, look at him. I think he's like one of the 30 under 30 people on, I think he's like top
That's
dog.
awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I'm pretty sure. Living in Chicago suburbs. Helping you move to Chicago suburbs. Email me. I don't hate it. Don't love it. Don't hate it. There's nothing wrong with this. You just don't need the subscribe button. Can you see that, Jeb?
Yep. I can see it.
Yeah. No, nothing special about because the thing is that, you know, the culture of YouTube, everybody knows to subscribe now. You don't need to tell them to do that in your banner. All right. So right off the bat, he says, I'm Brandon. On this channel, I'm dedicated to helping you with your goals on moving to the Chicago suburbs. My number one goal is to show you what it's like living here in Chicagoland area so you can make the best decision for yourself and for your loved ones. If you're thinking about making a move around Chicagoland area, reach out because I want to be your go-to real estate guy. Talk soon, Brandon Blankenship.
I doubt he sounds like that.
He totally doesn't. But I was trying to make it more exciting. So what do we say when we look at these about sections? What is it?
So definitely don't start off with about yourself. Like always start off with what the viewer gets and what the benefit is. What's the value proposition? Why they're there? What are they going to get? What are you giving to them rather than what you're asking from them? So just think of it, switch it around, aim it, everything towards them.
Yep. I was right though. Look, it says National Association of Realtors 30 under 30.
Yeah, you were right.
I saw that on the old Facebooks.
The old Facebooks.
On the old Facebooks, the FBs, man. I saw it there. I remembered. Congratulations, by the way. I would like to also say congratulations on the fact of not having a bunch of outside links and only attaching it to a Calendly so people can make an appointment with you. Good show on that. Fantastic. He started this in 2020 and he has nearly 1,000 subscribers and he has 109 videos. All right, let's take a look-see even closer here. All right, let's go to his videos. Oh, he's got nice strong thumbnails. So why aren't they getting clicks?
Let me look at it for a minute. I think the biggest thing is you've got to define who your viewer is. Like there's different, you've got moving in, you've got what's hot, out of homes, pros and cons. It's a typical, five playlist strategy of the digital mayor that you're doing. And who knows who else is doing that. But really what it comes down to is you need, like, if it seems to me like this would be a relocation channel. And if this is a relocation channel, then everything should be about relocation.
Yep. It could be. I don't think
depends on what he wants. I mean, you could tweak it. You could change it to that. You could change it to, I don't know, like a, I don't know. I don't know. What would you do? It wouldn't be first time, maybe a move up or you're moving to the suburbs.
Yeah. I think it's like
a move up channel.
Moving up. Because it's like the truth about living in Illinois, pros and cons.
Mm-hmm.
And these videos work. I'm interested to see how many leads he got from this, because in some cases, I bet you he's got a lot of people that already live in Illinois and they want to throw their 2 cents in the comment section. I just
Sure.
want, I'm going to click on it. I just want to see what his comments say. Cold weather builds character. I live 40 miles south of Chicago. There are 2 Illinois, Chicago and the rest of the state. Lived in West and South. Yeah. So these are people that already live in Chicago.
And they're just they're just giving their 2 cents of his content.
Yep. Yep. So what we want to do is really get you people that are thinking about moving to Chicago, not ones that live in Chicago, right? Or if they do live in Chicago, that you're the expert.
They're reaching out to you to move.
Exactly. Pros and no cons in Illinois.
Yeah.
I want to see what his yeah. So if you're going to do a pros and cons video, don't not put any cons. Like, you have to be honest with the audience, like,
yeah.
Like I complain all the time that South Louisiana floods, and the flood insurance is super expensive, and you're gonna have to put up with the weather here in order for, like, you have to be honest with people.
That's actually the negatives are actually what draw people in, not the positives as much, is because they'll be like, you know what, like, you actually gave legitimate, unbiased information where other people are trying to make it seem like there's nothing wrong with this. And it builds trust to where then they like you and they want to do business with you.
I'm gonna look here. I'm gonna see something real quick. I want to see how old this is. How do you find out how old these are?
The reels?
Yeah.
Or the shorts?
Yeah. It doesn't show the upload date.
Doesn't it right there? Well, nope, on the 3 buttons right there. And then scroll down. Maybe it's in the description.
Okay.
Yeah, January 27th.
Okay. I'm glad you're not doing shorts anymore.
Yeah, that'll hurt your channel for sure.
Yeah. If you're going to do shorts, you can do it on a touring channel without a problem, but on an education channel, I hate to break it to everybody, but real estate information is just not shorts worthy. It's just not interesting enough, very rarely do you get real estate content that is like really worthy of shorts, unless you're going to sit there and lie to people and say there's a housing crash every 5 minutes.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, but your thumbnail game is, and I rarely say this, is very strong.
Yeah, he definitely understands the rule of thirds. He's got the the arrows, the graphics. I mean, he's definitely doing a lot of right things. It's really more about
the lighting is so good.
Yeah.
Like these two
narrowing down your avatar, like who your viewer is, and then work your playlist.
Yep.
You're super close.
You're
and you're not repeating your count, like what's on your title on your thumbnail. You're not doing that.
Nope.
So that's good.
This one, it says crashing. Chicago real estate market will be crazy, and you have this housing bubble. Instead of crashing, I would have put pop, P-O-P, and with a pointing to the bubble.
Yeah, like a pin almost getting ready to pop it.
Yeah, you may not even do the words. Just put the pin. Just saying. The improvement. Look at this from here to here. These are huge improvement to a thumbnail.
Much better.
Impressive.
We got a question. Living in Omaha says, why is it that a video will go months with an average performance, then months later it suddenly pops off?
That's a good question. So this happens to me on occasion. So whenever I'll put out a video that I know that will work for my audience, and it doesn't do well, I don't worry about it because I know it's in line with my channel and the audience. And then eventually YouTube finds it again and starts putting it in front of the right audience, and they start clicking on it.
Yep.
And other times, maybe YouTube wasn't ready for your video at that moment.
Yeah. Or the viewer.
or the viewer. And then later on, sure enough, a bunch of people get online and they're looking for that specific content. And they're like, oh, YouTube's like, oh, I actually have a video for you.
Yeah,
And they
it's
throw it,
relevant.
yeah, it's relevant. Here, they throw it in front of that person.
The other thing that could happen too is that you made that video and it sat for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, and then you made another video very similar to that video, and it popped off, and then it realized, oh, this happens actually a lot, where someone will make a video, but because they did a video before and it did well, but they didn't actually follow up and make another video similar, and they let it, like, YouTube marinate for a while, and then all of a sudden it blows through the roof. Oh, you're pulling it up. Yes, this is exactly what we're talking about.
Okay, so Paul Likens did a video 3 years ago about don't buy a condo in Florida. It was one of his top performing videos on his channel, right? 56,000 views almost 3 years ago. He ends up making a video 5 months ago about, can Florida condo owners survive this crisis, right? YouTube already knows that, hey, this guy's made a video about condos before and it's done really well. Let's go ahead and throw that into the same audience that subscribed and liked the video from the last time in front of them. And they ended up watching it, and they ended up watching so much of it that YouTube is like, ooh, this is really good. And they send it to another group of people. The thumbnail, the title, everything fit in exactly what YouTube wanted from him, which was more videos about condos.
Yep. And because he hadn't posted another video, it was ripe for another video. And that's kind of like one of the things that we teach also is the playlist strategy of when to release videos and when, because a lot of times you might hit a vein that really gets traction, and the worst thing you can do is make another video about that right after, because it's not done. YouTube hasn't sent it out to everybody yet.
I call that the kiss of death.
Yeah.
Because there's a few gurus that will go out there and say, oh, as soon as you have a viral hit, make another video.
Do another one.
Exactly
Do another one.
like, yeah, another one, just like the one you just made. So that way, you can get in front of that audience and they'll click on it. And what happens then is you've oversaturated the market. So you've not only cut off the views for the previous video.
Yep.
You cut them off right at the knees is what Daryl says. You cut it off right at the knees. And then the next video is in front of other people and it doesn't do as well and it kind of fizzles out.
Yep. And then the sad thing is that, like, you have to then redo that whole like playlist strategy, but most people don't know how to do that because they're just like, I don't know how to achieve that again, because it just kind of was weird. And it wasn't that it was a fluke. There actually was data to show that it would go well. It's just that it wasn't released at the proper time. So, and then you could have actually used that to piggyback and grow your channel, and then test other playlists to go even further if you knew who your audience was.
Right. And like your playlist too, I would kind of rearrange these a little bit.
Yeah. We got a question from Sandra. She says, is it significant if your current audience spans North and South America? Could this be an indication that your channel has the potential for exponential growth? My question would be is are you doing like another language with this, or how, like, that would be the question is, are you doing
Spanish?
Yeah, are you doing something in Spanish? Which isn't a bad thing. It's just
Not at all.
Is that something you're doing? Because there is some stuff coming for dubbing that is amazing.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we got the inside scoop on this. One thing we never talk about is community pages. Rarely do we mention it. He's using his community page, but I'm going to warn you, do not use your videos in your community page as a link. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, you definitely want to do what you did below, which is like ask information, like take polls, get them to get involved, but don't push your content on them. Use that as a place where you can actually get some more information and feedback.
So like, but even this question is like, what do you want me to do? It's like, what do you want me
Yeah.
to cover? Let me know which
No, you
suburbs.
need to make it way more engaging. You definitely
Yeah.
want it to be
So
something so compelling that they have to feel like they have to answer.
right. So you say, what, tell me what is the best Chicago suburb, right? And then you give them a selection of 5,
Yeah.
right? And you know what you should do is like put the worst suburbs in there.
Yeah.
People
No,
get
that
mad.
one's not good.
You didn't even mention blah blah blah. Then you get more engagement, right?
Yeah. And you could even say like my top 5 suburbs that I like. Do you agree with me? And then because that's another thing is when you get people, everyone wants to give their opinion. Like
Mhm.
that's the thing is people want to give their opinion on this stuff.
Yeah, don't use this as a place to dump video links. That's not really beneficial. They can go to the channel to see that.
Yeah. If you do want to pin a video like link, do it in the comments on one of your, if it's relevant to what you're talking about, you can pin it there in that video that you're releasing.
Yep.
And that's why I thought she's like, I have a Spanish channel as well.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So your audience, you're just reaching further because it's bilingual.
Happy hump day. What towns are you guys interested in seeing? See, I wouldn't, this isn't still like, you're not asking their opinion. You're just like, I don't know what to do. So I'm going to ask you this and
Yeah.
hopefully you'll answer me. It will help me a ton. You don't like, they don't want to help you. They
Yeah.
want you
What
to
are
help
you going to
them.
do for them? Like you got to
Yeah.
switch that around. And what is it that you can, what is their pain points?
Yep.
You put a poll in there about like the cost of a house and like that kind of stuff. Like you're going to get more engagement.
Yep. I agree. We don't talk about this enough. I
Well,
don't
most
do.
people don't even fill it out. So at least he knows about it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, at least he does something on there. I'm guilty. I go through spurts where I will do my I'm going to show you this. Where I'll do my my community page and then I stop. I don't know why I do that. Yeah. Last time I posted was Easter.
Look at that bunny. He's like bouncing around.
Yeah, little buddy. But these little poll questions, they do great. I mean, 6,200 votes right here.
Yeah. You know, the other thing too is like, let's talk about this for a second is if you don't know what to put, like have ChatGPT help you out, like have it help you come up with some questions. It's great that way.
I'll take an article. This is no joke. This is where these questions came from. I took an article and I said, can you give me some trivia questions from this article?
Yeah.
So that way, like if you guess the right answer, right. And then it will give you a link to the article so you can get the rest of the information from it.
Yeah, that's smart.
How cool would this be, right? Oh, I just thought of this. You guys better get out your pens and papers. So make a blog post about whatever, we'll just say manufactured homes. Make a blog post about manufactured homes and then take the facts from that blog post that you created on your own website, right? Have ChatGPT make some trivia questions for your community page, right? And then when it says, get more information for the answer to this, they click on it and it goes straight to your website.
That's a good way for sure. To read more about the article.
Yep.
That's a good idea.
Because when you click on this, it will oops. Whoops. When you click on the answer, it will give you the highlighted answer. And I have it, it's a blue link that takes you back to the actual, the article where the information came from. So if you had a blog and you did that, how smart would that be?
Yeah, because ultimately it comes back to like they're curious, you're creating a relationship with them. If you're giving value, then they're going to feel like, hey, I trust this person. I feel like I know them more. I've been watching their videos. We call them the lurkers, where they're kind of like people on that don't really say anything, but they're getting information. And then eventually you hit a hot button and they're like, I have to comment or I have to submit something. And then lo and behold, pretty soon they're a part of your group because you've provided so much value that they can't not want to be a part of it. They can't not want to join the live streams or the things that you're doing. And everything that I'm telling you right now is proof because of what we do. Like, this is exactly, we know it works. We've got lurkers that are on, that are asking questions. Sometimes they don't even ask a question and they just watch the whole time, and they slowly go through and take the tips that we're giving. And it is actionable items. They are things of value, and they find that it works. And then they're like, hey, that really helped me.
Yeah.
How else can I do this? And then pretty soon they're like, you know what? Like, you guys have been helping me for 6 months, and I had no idea like my business was going to fail. We got a text like that one
We
time
did.
that was like, I've been watching you guys for 6 months, and I've slowly implemented the things that you give away on your live stream. And I was able to get a business that helped put food on the table for me and my family. Like, that right there was like, we were like, this is it. This is it. This is why we do this stuff.
Yep. Yep. Oh, speaking of that, I want everybody to know, if you are a lurker and you've been on the fence of joining Joe and I's course, there's one thing you should know. Starting after the 30th is our last time that we're going to be offering free, like, lifetime coaching. After that, it's going to be a monthly charge. We haven't established, I think we've mildly
talked, but we haven't really nailed it down yet.
Nailed it down for a cost. So if you were thinking about doing lifetime coaching and getting in with Joe and I, now would be the time to do it, because after that, you only will be getting the 8 weeks from us, and then you wouldn't get any one-on-one coaching from us after that. I can tell you, everybody that has had the most benefit are the ones that have stuck around the entire time, and they continue to grow their channel, like Jackie Baker, Jen Sylvester, Olga Pierce. I mean, those are the ones that, have been there week after week after week, and they slowly but surely have built up their channels because they have continued to be educated. So just to let you know, no pressure, but I just want to, no pressure, but pressuring you.
Yeah.
Even if you can't take it now, pay for it now, so that way you can take it later and you'll still have the lifetime coaching.
David asked a question. He says, can we join the program and still do a local channel?
You can. Of course you can.
The thing is, I think the misconception is that you think that, like, what we're teaching makes it so that it takes focus off of your local channel. But what it really does is it amplifies and enhances your local channel. Plus, it gives you the ability to reach out to even more people that you never thought you would have opportunities to do. And a perfect example of that is Jackie. We've been talking with her for a while, and she just likes doing her business, but she has been getting leads. She's been getting referrals. She's been doing all those things on top of having the opportunities to get new local over $1 million listings. So it's not one or the other. You have to change your mindset, and it's going to add to what you're already doing.
Right. And that's the whole big misconception. We don't tell you to specifically do a local channel, but we don't specifically tell you to do a national channel. What we're telling you to do is build content for a specific avatar. And, we have a whole system that really does work, and it will work as well as you work it. And the people that have had success are the ones that listen, and the ones that whine and say it didn't work for me, it's because they didn't listen. So,
and some of it is part of listening is when we tell you need to be patient, like put your stuff out and let YouTube do its thing.
Yep. Yeah. And I saw somebody recently that was like, oh, as soon as I put out a video, I attach it to a blog and I put it in an email blast. And I'm like, and you've cut your views off at the knees. Don't do that.
Yeah.
And Jackie says you'll definitely get local business. Yeah. We don't tell you to make 1,000 videos about your suburbs, and we never will.
We teach you a way of understanding and learning how to get gold and content for life, so that you're not having to come up with ideas and having to do things, but you find it in a way that actually has already been proven by YouTube, and you're just putting your personal spin on things. And once you understand that process, the sky's the limit on how much content you put out. But your days of banging your head on the wall of going, I got to do another pros and cons, and I can't do it because I've done so many of them and they don't work, or they don't work like they used to.
Right.
And I'm really struggling. Like all of that stuff goes out the window because what we teach you will completely change the way that you process YouTube.
100%. And that's like it's hard too, especially if you learned a certain way.
Yeah.
And
You learned a certain way and it actually worked, but it doesn't anymore.
Right. You have to unlearn what you've learned before because we are doing it in a way that will consistently get you views. It's not anything revolutionary that Joe and I came up with. It's Daryl Eve's system. We just are like the Diet Coke version for real estate. And that's it. That's it.
I love what Jackie says. She says, you'll come across as a trusted expert. That's it right there.
Yep. Yep. So I know there's 8 of you watching. There was about 14 of you that were in the stream because you guys are learners.
We got to get a stronger hook.
Yeah. Well, no, I think nobody wants to put their name out there, face out there. They like lurking, and we do get a lot of views afterwards, and I don't mind.
No, I don't mind it either. I think it's great. I mean, we're here every week. We want to provide value. We know what we're doing. And if you'll implement the things that we're teaching you, like even on these live streams, they will totally help you get more views and ultimately get more leads.
Yep. We're going to do this again because I'm
Yay!
I got a new song for us today too.
Oh yeah, what do you got? Like techno birthday or something?
No, this is
I like this.
It's more cheery. Well, everybody, if you're thinking about it, go ahead and join the YouTube Real Estate Video Geeks course. Just go to realestatevideogeeks.com. Sign up. It's just under $3,000. You can sign up all the way until May 30th to receive free lifetime coaching. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next Thursday. Happy birthday, Joe!
Thank you.